Good morning. Good morning. Today is Sunday, April, what is it, 24, and this is how to pay off mortgages in 7 years. And we're in the room, the Pill Method Club. We're in the club, and everybody is here wanting to know how you could pay off mortgages in 7 years, but not just mortgages, folks. We're talking. I talked to some folks last night about their students. Information they didn't know about credit cards, about car loans. Listen, if it carries interest, I guarantee you, you're paying more interest than you need to, which is cause of long-term debt, not the amount of money that you borrowed, the cost of borrowing the money. So in the Pill Method Club, we lower the cost of borrowing money, not by getting lower interest rate, but making sure that you pay the least amount of interest that's mathematically possible. So we help to lower your cost. In fact, I was just talking to a gentleman a few minutes ago, Jared, in another room about he several properties in a blanket loan at percent interest, and he wants to refinance to get a lower interest rate. And now, because he's making money on those properties, I asked, you make the payment okay? He said, yes. I said, let me show you how that 10% interest rate, it can help you learn how to read an amortization schedule. Because if you lower the interest rate, you're actually making it harder on yourself to pay the loan off early, and and it's going to cost you more money if you lower the interest rate. Oh my goodness, he was so glad I gave a couple of examples. In fact, I have that example on the screen, and as soon as we're through with the first questions from our audience, I will get into that example of how this real estate investor can save money on his loan at 10%. All right, ready to go this morning, Jared?
Ready to go as well. And Don, let me know if there's any issues from my audio. Do I sound okay?
You for some reason it starts out low and then it gets louder. I don't know.
Kenyatta, how do I sound right now?
I concur. You start out really low and then it's like it starts to build.
Okay. I'll work on that. But hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jared Albert in the Invest Room on Clubhouse. Pay off a mortgage in 7 years. Really excited to hear. Make sure to click the greenhouse at the top, follow the club. And what you're going to experience in today's room is going to really shift your mindset when it comes to how to look at mortgages. If you want to see these examples live on your screen, you can go to your laptop, your desktop, or your iPad and go to ice10kvideos.com, and the instructions are written out in the chat. Example on your screen via Don's YouTube channel. Click the box that says live, and then from there you'll be able to see Don's examples. Also, this room is for 2 hours, and we really want it to be interactive. So feel free to raise your hand and come on stage at any point. There are no dumb questions. Your real estate broker, your mortgage professional, your financial advisor, they do not understand amortization charts because the banks don't want you to understand it. So we're really excited to get questions. So please raise your hand, come on stage. And if you're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, we'd love for you to write your questions in the chat so that we can bring you into the conversation as well. So Don's got a hot example ready, but we'd love to answer a question first. So raise your hand, come on stage. And before we kick off with your questions or the first example, we're going to go through some moderator introductions. But before we do that, I'd love for Don to just break down what is the P.I.L.L method and what you can get out of today's room.
All right. P.I.L.L method stands for prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage, and liquidity. Everything you can do or understand with loans breaks down somewhere in those four categories. Prepayment of principal, meaning you can give the bank back their money in a time they're not expecting it. When you do that, it saves you time and it saves you interest. That's prepayment of principal. Isolating the principal amount, knowing exactly how much to pay, what month to pay it in, what day of the month to pay it on, and which loan to attack. Isolating how much money we're going to do pay it on. Now, leverage. Oh my goodness, what is the smallest amount of money you can pay out of your financial footprint on a loan that maximizes the amount of interest you're going to save. There's a point at which paying too much lowers the amount of interest you can save per dollar. And I'm telling you, folks, and Sean taught me this. He says, Don, I get a little confused about that. Sean 10K Lashley, who's a marketing genius, said, listen, explain it this way, Don. He says, if you can save $6 in interest for every dollar, why would you want to save $3 in interest for every dollar applied by doing the wrong thing? And if you don't have a way to measure, how would you know the difference? All right. So that's talking about leverage. And then liquidity is talking about how do we look at all of the finances, all of your resources, and make sure we're using them correctly. And I'm telling you, folks, when you understand liquidity, the most expensive money you have is not the money on your credit cards. If you have debt, the most expensive money you have is the money sitting in your bank account. So let's understand liquidity and how to best use all of your money to save you interest. And listen, folks, we're going to be everything you think you know about loans right now, throw it out the window. All right, because it's costing you money. There's a new sheriff in town. It's called the P.I.L.L method. And what we use is called interest cancellation. And I can't wait to get started today. Go ahead, Jared.
Awesome, awesome. So would love for everybody, if possible, to share this room in the hallway. So I'll show you exactly how to do that. In between the chat and the scissors, there's a little share icon. You click that, you click share on Clubhouse. I'm gonna go ahead and throw some emojis in, and you'll see that number turned from 0 to 1. We have 32 people in here. Would love for everybody to share this room into the hallway so they can experience what you're about to experience, which is a whole new perspective on interest rates, student loans, mortgages, car loans, credit card debt, etc. So we're going to go through some quick moderator introductions. But while we do that, please raise your hand, come on stage, ask a question about your refinance, your mortgage, anything, and Don will break it down for you. And Don, if we don't have any questions, we'll just jump into the first example, which everybody can watch on their computer screens via YouTube, utilizing the link that's in my chat, which is ice10kvideos.com. All right, so my name is Jared. I do a lot of content around tech, the metaverse, NFTs, and crypto, but also do rooms about mindset when it comes to business. I'm excited to be part of the event that's being advertised and all the PTRs, and we'll talk more about that later. Up next, I'm going to pass it to Kenyatta.
All right, let's get it going this morning.
Absolutely. Good morning, good people. My name is Kenyatta. You can find me at kenyatta10k.com, and I am passionate about helping you reach your financial goals. And I do that by helping you find a deal, finance that deal, cancel the interest on that deal to get you yet another deal. So tap in with me if you feel like this is something you want to do, and do not disqualify yourself. Good morning.
All right, 10K, are you around? All right, 10K might be away. But yeah, here's the good part of the show. We're about to get into the content. If there are no questions, Don is about to break down this example. So feel free to raise your hand, though, at any time. This room goes by really fast, and you want to get on stage so that you don't miss out on the opportunity to ask a question about your personal financial situation. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it back to Don.
Well, I was in the back channel. So listen, man, you got to give me a chance to get back. We need a button. So if you're in the back of the channel anywhere, so you can instantly hit a button and bring you right back. So it doesn't take you long to to do what you have to do. Jared, thank you so much. Kenyatta, 10K, we're here this morning. And folks, I'm going to bring you an example hot off the presses example that I went through this morning, and we're going to make sure we can put that on the screen. And let's see, there we go. Bam. All right. So listen, we are. I was talking to in a real estate room, and this guy was talking about the traditional way of looking at your loans. All right. So I'm giving people time to get in here to look at this live, and the numbers are growing. And so we're just kind of vamping till we can get in there. And so here's what he was saying. I got all these properties, and it's owner financed. Okay. And the guy says he wants me to pay him. He didn't need the money right away. And so it was several properties, and it came to about $1.3 million in property. He got into this thing with no money down. I mean, it was a fantastic deal, but it was at 10% interest over 20 years. It was a 20-year amortization. And he was afraid that by getting this 10% loan, it was going to cost him money. Now, I will guarantee you, if he decided to keep that loan for 20 years, you better believe it was going to cost him money. But because it was set up the way it's set up, that 20-year loan is actually going to save him money because it's a 10% interest rate, because he's cash flowing right now. So let's go ahead. We're going to put that on the screen, and we're going to show you what we're talking about. $1.3 million in loans at 10%. His payment is going to be $12,545.28 a month. But because it is, so he has several properties, and each property has a tenant in it. They're making a lot more money than the $12,545 in payments that they're making. So I asked a couple of questions. First, I asked, does he have a problem making the payment? He says, no way. We're not having a problem at all making this payment because all the properties are filled, and we're making that payment. So then the next thing I asked you, I said, do you have a need to take cash out so that you can reinvest? So sometimes people want to reinvest, but all their cash is tied up in their current properties. So they need to cash out, what they call cash out refi, so they can take some money out and then invest that money as well. And he says, nope, we don't have a problem with that either. I said, so all you want to do is make sure that you can save money in interest. He says, yes. I said, would you be interested to know that using this formula, using interest cancellation, you could actually do better at the 10% rate than lowering your interest rate? He says, oh, I'm all in. I said, so let's show you what's going on here. Now, what I'm getting ready to show you folks is what would happen if he decided to keep the loan for 20 years. All right. So here's what we're talking about. We have $1.3 million on the screen right now. And the bank the person who owns the property, the seller, says, don't go out and get a loan. I want you to pay me 10% on my money. Okay. But guess what? There's no prepayment penalty. There's no prepayment penalty. All right. But if he keeps the loan 20 years, the seller is hoping to get $1.7 million just in interest, meaning that the total cost of managing this debt and paying it all back is going to be $3,010,867. Okay, $3 million. So the true cost of this is not what they negotiated for not just what they negotiated for the properties, but what they negotiated for the properties plus the interest cost of $1.7 million, which gives it a total of over $3 million. But what if he doesn't keep the loan for the entire 20 years? What if he pays it off early? You know, I've talked to people who have rented cars, all right, for a month. And then they go to the car rental place and they sign everything else. And it says, if you keep our car for a month, here's how much you're going to pay for that car to rent this car. All right. But something happens and they have to return the car after 2 weeks. So if they return the car after 2 weeks, can the car rental place actually expect 1 month's worth of rental payments when the person only kept the car for 2 weeks? Does anybody want to jump in on that? All right. Well, I guess you already know that no, he's going to pay for 2 weeks worth of rental, not 4 weeks. So if a banker, no matter who your banker is, whether it's an actual bank or the person that is self-financing the property, if they're looking for 1.7 million over 20 years, what if you pay the loan off in 10? What if you pay the loan off in 7? Can they really expect to get 1.7 million? Nope. They can't expect it because interest is nothing more than rent on the money. And the more money you owe, the more rent you pay. So if you can get that loan down faster, you start paying less rent. And when you pay off the loan, you stop paying rent on the money altogether. All right, listen, I'm excited to go over this with you, and I need some people to come up here and ask some questions. So let's get down to payment number 1. All right, so let's just say he started making this payment in January. Now look at this thing. Look at this thing. His payment is again $12,545.28. And the reason why people are scared of high interest rates is because they don't know how to read an amortization schedule. And the reason why we don't know how to read an amortization schedule is because it's not taught at any level of financial education anywhere. Now, how do I know that? Because for 16 years, I've been asking this question of people who are in finance in one way or another. They could be a real estate agent. They could be a loan officer. They could be a financial planner. They could be a CPA. It doesn't matter. I asked them all, did you need to know how an amortization schedule actually works and how to defeat it to get your license to do whatever it is you're doing? I keep getting back the same answer. The answer is no, no, and no. Folks, how is it that all of us use loans? All of us. But we've never been taught how they actually work so that we can take advantage of it and save money. All right, so let me show you something here. Look at these interest payments on this loan. The principal payment on the very first payment, $1,711.95 goes to principal. $10,833.33 goes to interest. You say, Don, that's a lot of interest. Out of that payment, only $1,700 goes to principal. $10,800 goes to interest. Now, the reason why this gentleman is not that concerned is because they're making a lot more money in rent than the $12,000 in payments that they're making each month. So he's really not that concerned. But when he started looking at the amortization schedule himself, he says, man, $10,000 worth of interest. Let me see what I can do about that. His goal is to save money. Okay. Now, I want you guys to think about this because I was reading a book once and it told me, what is it that you're looking for and only purchase that? Watch this. All right. There was a gentleman who needed a hole in his wall so that he could hang up some shelving. All right. He needed some holes in the wall so he can hang up some shelving. So he goes out and buys a drill. Okay. And so he goes out to buy a drill to make the holes. Now, what did he need, ladies and gentlemen? Did he need holes in the wall or did he need a drill? And this was when I first heard this, I said, of course he needed a drill to make the holes. No, he needed holes in the wall He didn't necessarily have to go out and buy a drill. He could have asked his neighbor who has a drill, and his neighbor could have drilled the holes. So what is it that he needed? He needed holes in the wall. He didn't need a drill of his own. So if he had focused on what he needed, he might have found another way other than going out to buy an expensive drill that he probably wouldn't use for the next 4 or 5 years to put the holes in the wall so he could put up the shelving. Do you see what I mean here? So what did this gentleman need? He needed to save money on interest. He thought the way to save money on interest was to get a lower interest rate. And I'm going to show him, if you wanted to save money on interest, keep the loan you have. Watch this. So we're going to put that right back on the screen. This is going to be so great. So here we go, folks. So the very first payment, $1,711.95 goes to principal. $10,833.33 goes to interest. And so let's just say this is his January payment. All right. February's principal payment would be $1,726.21. So if he's in January, watch this. If he is in January, he makes his payment and he sees that his February principal payment is $1,726. He doesn't have to wait till February to give the note holder the $1,700. He could give him the $1,700 extra in January. Watch this. He makes his regular payment in January and then gives him the principal payment on line 2 also in January, which pays him down to the principal balance on line 2. So he eliminates the payment on line 2, not for $12,000, but for only $1,700. For $1,700, line 2 has been canceled. It has been eliminated from this loan. And his next mortgage payment for February is actually on line 3, where $1,740.60 goes to principal and $10,804.68 goes to interest. What just happened? He eliminated one payment from his schedule for $1,700. And what happened to this $10,819.07 in interest on line 2? It went away. He never has to pay it. Oh my goodness. Now, before we get too deep in this thing, I'm going to bring up another line and we're going to go back here and we're going to duplicate this tab. All right. I want to show you something. Same loan, same 10%, same 240 months, but I'm going to lower this to 6%. Okay. To 6%. We're going to get a new payment. Now, what if he had refinanced this thing to 6%? Look at his payment now. It's $9,313.60. $9,313.60. Now, let's go down and take a look at the amount of interest that would be owed over 20 years. And there, that falls to only $935,000 instead of the $1,700,000. All right. So now you would think by lowering the interest rate, he gets a smaller payment, and overall, over 20 years, he's going to save a lot of interest. But he doesn't want to keep the loan for 20 years. Watch this. So we're going to take a look at, remember the payments he was making was $1,700 principal payments at the higher interest rate. We just cut the interest rate, what? From 10% down to 6%, because it's a commercial loan. So you're going to pay a little bit higher interest rate than you probably would on a residential loan. But look at this. Look at these principal payments now. $2,800. If he wanted to get rid of a payment now, he would have to pay $2,800 to get rid of one payment and get rid of the interest on that line, even though the interest cost is a lot less. Do you see what's going on here? Lower the interest rate, increase the principal payment, make it harder to get out of this commercial loan faster. Oh my goodness. Watch this now. We're going to go back to the original loan based on what we just learned. Now, this particular guy has money in the bank. He's got money in the bank that he keeps in the bank in reserve to do repairs and to do maintenance on his buildings. Well, that's what real estate investors do. They keep that money on the sideline. And so he's got several $1,000s in the bank. But guess what? That money in the bank is making 0.1%. He's okay with that because he wants to have the cash available just in case something major goes wrong. All right. So he's got the money. He's got several $1,000s in the bank. So I said, now, based on this, what we're seeing here, out of the 70 or 80,000 you have in the bank, could you borrow the cumulative principal here? If you take a look at column number 3, okay, column 3 is cumulative principal. And in 1 year, he would actually pay this loan down by $21,511.59. $21,511.59. But the owner of the property would receive $129,000 in interest in the first year. This is why the owner of the property is doing. Not only do I get my money for the properties, but I make $129,000 in interest in just 1 year. That's what the owner of the property is looking for. So this is what I asked the gentleman this morning. I said, out of the money you have in the bank, is there anything preventing you from borrowing $21,511.59 from yourself out of your savings account and advancing it to this loan as a prepayment? He said, no, there's nothing. I could do that. Okay. So if he did that, do you see by putting this money on the principal in 1 month instead of over 12 months, he's paid down to line 12 in just 1 month. Line 12 in just 1 month. What happens to all the interest payments, these $10,000 interest payments between line 2 and line 12? What happens to these? I get so excited about this thing. I can barely speak. By doing that, taking money out of a bank account that's making 0.1%, advancing it to this loan, he's paid down to here in 1 month. He saves a total of $118,326.07 in interest he never has to pay. In other words, folks, by doing it the lender's way, the lender's saying to move this loan from point A, from the beginning, to point B 1 year into the loan, you have to pay me $129,031.77 if you do it the traditional way. But if you advance me the $21,000 up front, you pay it down to the exact same place for the interest cost on the first line only, $10,833.33. Folks, which way is better? Advancing $21,000 out of his savings and doing this, and saving $118,000 in interest. Now, I'm not done with this example. See, if you lower the interest rate, do you see what $21,500 can do? Watch what happens when you lower the interest rate, because he still has his $21,000 in his bank. Okay. What would happen if he advanced $21,000 to this loan at the lower interest rate. So we're going to go look at that. Okay. $21,000 doesn't knock off a year. It's between 7 months and 8 months. That $21,000 doesn't do as much work for him knocking out loan payments, because that's the whole idea. He wants to pay the loan off early and he wants to save money and interest. But $21,000 doesn't do as much work for him at the lower interest rate. And bankers know this. Ladies and gentlemen, bankers know that. So this is why they keep offering us lower interest rates. So listen, some of you right now have been in your mortgages, whether it's residential or whether it's whether you're in residential or you're in commercial. So some of you have received offers from your own bank to lower the interest rate for you so you can save money. Now, listen, if I was in any other business, and I came to you and I said, you know what? We've been in business together for 5 years. And you know that we agreed on how much you're going to pay me for my service. And I just took a look at this, and you've been paying me faithfully for 5 years. So here's what I want to do. I want to renegotiate the contract, and I now want you to pay me less money. If I came to you, would you think I was crazy? Why don't we think the bank is crazy when they said, I have you locked in at a higher interest rate, and 5 years later, I'm going to come to you and offer you a lower interest rate so the bank, can lose money? Folks, does that make sense to you? Listen. I got one more example to show to finish this up, Jared. But listen, I get so excited, my mouth gets dry. I got to have a drink of water. Jared, can you jump in there for just a second?
Absolutely. So I want to thank the 6 people that have shared the room. We have 50 people in this room, and I really do believe in you get what you give. And if you could give this room a share to the hallway, we would really appreciate it, because this information is what it's going to do for our community, is take the hundreds of thousands of dollars we're spending out to the banks, and we're going to be able to redistribute that back into our community, back into our families, back into our kids' inheritance, back into investments that make us money versus spending it. So let's help the community by giving this room a share. And I see it's at 6 right now. Love to see it get to 10, 15, 20. All you have to do is just click that button that says number 6 at the moment. Then you click that yellow hand that says share on Clubhouse. And then you just click that blue button that says share. And that's how we get the share numbers up. So really appreciate that. Also, if you want to see this on your computer and you have an iPad, a desktop, or a laptop nearby you, go ahead and open up that device, type in ice10kvideos.com, and you'll be taken to Don's YouTube channel. Pick the box that says live, and you'll be able to see the examples live on the screen right now. Last but not least, make sure you're following Don. Definitely follow all the other moderators, and make sure that you're getting engaged. We'd love for you to raise your hands, ask questions. And if you're streaming it on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, please type your questions into the chat, and we would love to answer questions. The more questions we answer, the better the experience, not only for you getting the information, but for the rest of the audience hearing the back and forth. So love to see the raise hand button go crazy right now, and let's get people on the stage. Before Dawn jumps back into the next example, I'm going to check in with Credit Goddess to see if she can do a quick introduction. All right, she might be away from the phone right now, but definitely make sure you tap on Credit Goddess, and we'll give her a chance to introduce herself. She has a lot of value to Clubhouse. And thank you to the couple of people that have shared so far. Let's keep getting those numbers up. Really appreciate it. And I'm going to pass it back to Dawn and look forward to bringing some people up.
Jared, before you pass it back to Don, why are you putting all the strain and the burden on this Superman? Is it because Don said he's a superhero? You're treating him this way, Jared? Jared, even Don need a break. Even Jesus took a day off. Come on, Jared. Hey guys, look, shout out to you. I'm the founder and CEO of 10K Cards. My title is irrelevant to who I am in this room. But the reason I'm mentioning that is because based on my title and my position in the company, I want the entire audience to know that we completely support Don Daniel in the interest cancellation expert. As the princess, as the interest cancellation expert, that is. And the reason we do it, we genuinely see what Don is doing for families. We see what he's doing for communities. And also, he's helping individuals to reclaim their wealth. So, our role in Don's universe is to make sure everyone to get a copy of his book and fill out the savings and earnings report, they get themselves a 10K card. And this is a product that Don prepaid for all of his clients. So when you purchase a copy of Don's book, you're going to get one of the basic 10K card as Don's gift to you. So if you're in this room, guys, and you're receiving value, ping a friend, tell your friends and family about it, share the audio, subscribe to his YouTube channel, check out his event because I can tell you for a fact he's doing good out into the world there. I'm also going to be in Nashville next month from the 20th to the 22nd. I'm going to be speaking on all things marketing and how you can help your business move from where you are to where you really want to go to. So, with that said, guys, I fully endorse what Don here is doing. And my profile in this room is a signature to his program and his movement. With that said, Jared, give the superhero the mic back.
Absolutely. And I want to thank Delvin for being the first brave soul to raise their hand and come on stage. We're going to give you so much value for coming up, and we really appreciate you. So I'm going to pass it to Don. I think you're at the end of your example, and then we can get into Delvin's question. So, yeah, back to you, Don.
All right. Hey, Delvin, listen, man. Does your question have anything to do with this example I have on the screen right now?
Yes, in a general sense.
All right. Well, let's talk about it in a general sense because you're going to help us out and make this even more valuable. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. All right. First off, I'd like to thank you for all the information that you provided. I'm 100% invested in learning what you're doing and start taking advantage of it. My question is, once you start attacking a mortgage in this way and you make an additional principal payment, going forward from that date on, do you calculate the new amortization table or do you still use the original?
When you pay even an extra penny that the bank wasn't looking for, it destroys the old amortization schedule.
Okay.
You need a brand new one. And since we do it so often, our opportunity cost calculator, it is a cloud-based um, artificially intelligent computing platform that keeps track of all of your amortization schedules at once. And we have clients that have two mortgages, three mortgages, five mortgages, 10 mortgages, 12 mortgages, 20 mortgages. And they can, this program can run them all and keep track of which one we need to attack with whatever amount of money so that we can save the maximum amount of interest that's mathematically possible. And so that is a very good question, sir. Yes, the short answer is you need a new amortization schedule every single time you attack these loans aggressively. And our program keeps track of all of them simultaneously.
Man, that's great. I've been trying to do it with paper and it's not working. Too much.
Listen, man, tell us a little bit about your trials there. What do you mean you're trying to keep it up, do it with paper? What does that mean?
Well, I got a couple of rental properties, so I kind of went down and figured out how much money I had to put toward it, and I put extra on a couple of the mortgages, and then uh, just wanted to see what happened. So the next month, then I printed a new amortization table. And I looked at the bottom, of some of the months had gone away, so the loan was going to be paid off sooner. So I was just kind of, I guess, testing the method, the P.I.L.L method, basically.
Excellent, sir. Excellent. While you were doing that, did you happen to calculate how much interest you actually saved with one extra payment?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I made multiple months, but yes, I did.
All right, excellent. So that's the thing. The thing is, if you have the right amount of money at the right time, you can save the most amount of interest. Now, here's my next question. Before you actually applied the money, did you experiment with different amounts of money to see how if a different amount of money, even a smaller amount of money, would have saved you more interest per dollar? Did you play around with the number at all?
Yes, I did. One of the mortgages, I calculated what the calculated principal was, and I said that exact amount. But then on another loan, I said maybe $100, 200, 300.
Right. And so here's my next question. How many mortgages do you have right now?
I have 4.
Okay. Now, what if I gave you just a little bit of advice and said you don't need to add the extra money every single month, only at strategic times during the year? What if you did some more calculations on all 4 to figure out what month to pay and how much exactly to the penny should you pay on all 4 mortgages? How long would it take you to figure out that 3 months from now, and you need to pay X amount of dollars on the 27th of that month on mortgage number 3 to save the most money that you could possibly save per dollar? Would you want to do all of those calculations?
Say, would I want to do all the calculation? I like to have all those calculations done for me.
Well, sir, you've come to the right place because we could do those calculations for you. All right. All you would have to do is look at the button up at the top, and and click on ice10klive.com, that button up there. And there's and then when you click on that link, there's a button in there on my digital business card that says get a savings and earnings report. Click on that, put in all of your information, and then someone will get back to you and tell you the month, day, and year you're going to be debt free. And our program acts like financial GPS, taking live data each month and recalculating what you can do. But the program is going to say, you know what, based on what we're seeing here, 3 months from now, you need to take out of your savings account X amount of dollars to the penny and apply it to loan number 2. And you need to do it on the 14th of the month after you pay your mortgage on the first or whatever it is. The program is going to figure out what day, which loan, which month, and the exact amount of money to the penny so that you don't violate the law of diminished return, meaning there's a point at which more is too much. You want to pay the right amount to save the maximum amount of interest. So listen, I would love to do that for you. So go ahead and click in there and fill in that information. Do you have any other questions for me this morning?
No, I'm complete. Thanks for everything.
Delvin, thank you so very, very much. And before we go ahead and get started, I'm looking through the audience here. I have some clients here that are in the audience. And I see also one of our successful doctors that graduated from Oakwood University is here. Dr. Jeffrey Pascal is in the house. And I remember talking to the guys over at Edwards Hall when he was in school, and he's stayed in touch ever since. Who knew he was going to be a successful doctor and a real estate investor? Dr. Pascal, if you just listen, I hate to put you on the spot, but could you come up and just raise your hand if you want to say something to us this morning? Please feel free. We would love to talk to you about how the mindset it takes to, because we have a mindset conference coming up, what it takes to get through college, what it takes to get through grad school, what it takes to get through medical school, the mindset, and to become a real estate investor as well. Dr. Pascal, how are you doing, sir? Click that microphone on the lower right-hand side, and then there you go.
Hey, Don, how's it going?
I'm doing well, sir. Remember the days at Oakwood?
Yes, I do.
Long since passed. And how many years ago was that?
2006.
Wow.
So, yeah.
2006.
16 years. Yeah. 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 So yeah. So you want me to talk about the mindset?
Yeah, the mindset that got you there, because we have a conference coming up in May. And talk about the mindset that got you to where you are now.
hmm Yeah. So a lot of people always ask me, how did I get to where I'm at now? Like students and just family, friends, and the first thing I say is mindset, because it doesn't matter how smart you are or your background, where you come from. It's like if you have the right mindset and you put your mind to it and all of your energy, all of your tenacity and focus, then you can really accomplish anything that you put your mind to. So, yeah, I mean, and it takes a while to develop the mindset because we've been programmed in such a way that is, like the traditional way in terms of like paying the mortgage, like the way Don is saying. And it took a while actually to develop this mindset. After listening to podcasts, books, and then making applications, it helped me to get to where I'm at right now. And Don, just to give you a background, I'm back in residency because I'm getting a medical degree now too as well. So I'll be a dual degree doctor with dentistry and medicine, finishing up at the end of this year.
Oh, wait a minute now. Listen, just thinking about getting the undergrad, I'm overwhelmed. And you're already a successful dentist. Now you're going to go back. You know what? I think this is the first time I've heard about that. That's going back to be a doctor of dentistry and an MD. Oh my goodness. Listen, we need to put something up on the screen right now about our mindset conferences coming up in May 20th through the 22nd. Let's go ahead and put that link up at the top. We already have it on the screen here on our streaming service. Folks, do you hear that? Coming out of graduate school, becoming a dentist, and now going back to get a medical degree. What type of mindset? And he used the right term. He had to develop the right mindset. Listen, can we ask you what prompted you to go back to school after having a successful career in dentistry? What prompted you to go back to school and say, this is something I want to do and something I can do?
hmm Yeah. So I wanted to, going to Oakwood, we learned like intro to learn, depart to serve. And I wanted to learn about head and neck surgery, in particularly cleft lip, cleft palate. And that's the way that I think that, God wanted me to go and give back. And to do that, you have to um, become a specialist in the head and neck field. And so that was one of the reasons why I wanted to go back was to learn that specific trade and skill. And one thing I'm learning too, Don, is mindset transformation is ongoing. It's never like once you reach one status or one level in your mind, like there's always new challenges and it's always an ongoing transformation. And it's never like I've reached it. You can always do more. It's always an ongoing transformation as well. And my wife and I, we're gonna actually try to come to your mindset conference next month. So we're looking at tickets last night.
Listen, man, thank you so very much for that. Listen, folks, we just want to, that mindset transformation is something we need to talk about. And we've got a little video that we put together for you on Clubhouse. I want you to listen to this, and I need you to watch it if you're on the streaming service. We put together a video about the transformation that takes place in mindset. Can we play that video, please?
In these uncertain times, the pandemic is still fresh on our minds. Gas and food prices increasing, and talk of Web 3.0 and the metaverse delight some and strike terror in others. Entrepreneurs, once enthusiastic about the future, now question the calling on their life. Some will find answers online, others will turn to trends and fads, but the real solution is a change in mindset. Your mindset is a set of beliefs that shape how you make sense of the world and yourself. It influences how you think, feel, and behave in any given situation. If mindset shapes all of that, then what influences mindset? Our answer: exposure. Exposure to a new environment. Exposure to experiences from those who have seen this before. Exposure to what works for those with proven track records that what they're doing is working. P.I.L.L Method Seminars presents Developing a Spiritual Money Mindset. 3 days at the Gaylord Opryland Resort in Nashville, Tennessee, where you'll be exposed to leaders in real estate, leaders in the metaverse, leaders in building a financial legacy. Expose yourself to the top motivational speaker in the world, Dr. Eric Thomas, in person. It's all happening May 20th through 22nd. Go to ice10kevents.com to purchase your ticket today.
Need to develop that mindset. But Dr. Pascal, I want to ask you a couple of more questions about the idea of the cleft palate. And you said that you believe God wants you to give back. In fact, the motto of the university you graduated from is enter to learn, depart to serve. Once you receive your medical degree, are you planning to repair cleft palates only in the U.S.?
No, I'm planning on to travel to different countries that don't have the access to care like we do in the States, to do cleft lip, cleft palate repair, and also work in the state as well. But yeah, I plan on doing that most of the time, like overseas, wherever the need is, and then also in the States too. But yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you for coming up on the stage. And please, if you have a question about anything or have an additional comment on mindset, just let us know. But we also, folks, listen, I'm so excited to have Dr. Pascal here. And you know what? I did not know before he came up, I did not know that he was going back to medical school for such a worthy endeavor. And having the mindset to do that, I'm telling you, folks, we have the #1 mindset coach in the entire world that's going to be at this conference. And we need to hear from E.T., the hip hop preacher, Dr. Eric Thomas. Come on, doctor, talk to us.
This is an opportunity of a lifetime. Your grandma counting on you to do the right thing. Your mama counting on you. Your cousins, your brothers and sisters are counting on you to cash in on this opportunity. Everybody want to be a beast until it's time to do what beasts do. There are kids that don't eat like you eat. They're at the same university. They don't get what you get. But with this right here, your skill set, this thing can take you wherever you want to go and then take your kids wherever you want them to go. You know how many people would die to have the gear y'all got? You know how many people would die to get on these planes and travel the world? You know how many people would die to have your life? And you got it. Let's go. You got money, but do you got that dog? Yeah, you got money, you got privilege, but do you got that dog? Do you got that stamina? So yeah, you might have something I don't have right now, but if I work hard, I can have what you have. I want you to chant it out. This is it. Be phenomenal or be forgotten. 1, 2, 3. Be phenomenal, be forgotten. 1, 2, 3. Be phenomenal, be forgotten. Last time. 1, 2, 3. Be phenomenal, be forgotten.
Over and over again, you have to have that right mindset and you have to develop it. It doesn't just come, you have to develop it. And this is why we're having that Money Mindset Conference in May. Please check it out. Get your tickets early. We have a block of rooms right now at a special rate. So before the rooms run out, book that room at $278 as opposed to $500 that they normally have these rooms at the Gaylord Opryland Resort. Get those tickets now. Get your room reserved now because it's going to be more expensive later. And we're going to come back to this in just a few minutes, but I want to finish this up example and that we have on the screen right now. And I brought up a calculator for a reason. So here's what I want to show you. This gentleman now sees that his money is better utilized by advancing some of that money he has in savings to this mortgage and saving like over $100,000 in interest he never has to pay. Now, let me show you the rest of the story. So listen, after 1 year doing it his lender's way, he would pay $129,000 in interest. So we're just going to round these things off. $129,000 in interest plus $21,500 in interest in principal. $21,500 in principal. That's a total of $150,000 of his hard-earned dollars paid out in 1 year. Now, I need you to look at this way. The goal is to pay off the loan. Out of $150,500 invested in his properties, only $21,500 actually goes to pay down the loan out of 150 grand. Now that you know that you don't have to spend $150,000 to pay your loan down over 12 months, can you justify, even though you have tenants paying the bill, can you justify paying out $150,000 just to pay down the loan by $21,000? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, here is the kicker. All right. Here's the kicker on this one. Watch this. If he borrows the $21,000 out of his, let's just kind of round it off to 20 grand. Okay. Round it off to 20 grand. And he says, now I know that in his reserve fund, out of the rents that he receives out of his reserve fund, he's already designated, out of all the money he has, about $5,000 goes into his reserve fund. The rest of the money he's using to reinvest in growing his real estate empire, his portfolio. Wow. So $5,000 a month. So I pointed out, so you put about $20,000 on this loan. It saves you $18,000 in interest. It knocks off a year's worth of payments that you never have to make. And your next payment is actually line 13 on your amortization schedule the next month. You go from line 1 to line 13 in February by giving the bank advancing money out of your reserve fund. Now, here's the kicker. Since he's putting in $5,000 a month into his reserve fund, how long will it take him to pay himself back out of monies that were already going into the reserve fund? You got it. 4 months. Then I ask, in 4 months, could you do that process all over again? Knock off another year and save another $100,000 in interest you don't have to pay? Because you have a 10% interest rate, which lowers your principal payment, which causes you to be able to make these kinds of inroads into the mortgage and do so much more damage to that mortgage so that you can get out early and save a ton of interest. Oh my goodness. Now, what about the money he is going to save in interest? Just in 4 months, he can save over $200,000 in interest that he never has to pay. So here's my question. Here's my last question, and I'm done with this. What can he now do? Since if he does nothing else, what if he just paid the loan off the regular way from this point on, didn't do anything else? He's already saved $200,000 in interest he doesn't have to pay. What could he now do with the $200,000? Because he got the property at $200,000 less. What could he do with that $200,000? Dang, he could reinvest that money. But no, he's going to keep on doing this and not pay this loan off in 20 years. He's going to pay it off in 5. and save a ton of interest. He's going to say, so right now the bank the bank wants from him $1.7 million. He's going to pay this thing off with less than $500,000. That's $1.2 million in interest he's saving. What could he do with that money? And you got it. He's going to take that money because he's able to acquire the same asset for about $500,000 instead of $1.7 million. I get so excited every time I get a chance to talk about this, and especially for the real estate investors that are out there. Folks, anybody else got any other questions? Jared, what's going on, man? Do we have any comments online or whatever? I just need to get another drink of water, and I want to talk to a couple of the folks on our stage. All right, Jared, back to you, sir.
Just see a hand that came up, so I'm gonna go ahead and let them up on the stage. But yeah, if you are new to the room and you want to see this live on your laptop, your desktop, or your iPad, you can go to ice10kvideos.com and you'll go to the YouTube channel where you can click the box that says live, and you'll be able to see Don getting a drink of water and examples of the questions that come up. Thank you so much for coming to the stage. I want to remind everybody to click on Don's profile. Make sure to give him a follow. Make sure to give Kenyatta 10K, Credit Goddess, and Jeffrey a follow as well. And yeah, click the link at the top. Meet us in Nashville. Going to be really a great experience, and look forward to meeting everybody there. I'll be talking about mindset going into the technology age of the metaverse, Web 3.0, and more importantly, beyond mindset, give you tangible steps to actually get involved and make money in the metaverse. So excited to see everybody there. But that being said, Janelle, thank you so much for coming to this stage. Please let us know what your question is.
Good morning, everybody. Well, for me, it's still morning. So I have been listening to some other real estate investors who own one guy, he owns he has 115 units. I think it's 39 buildings. And he talked about how he has no desire to pay off any of the mortgages, because when you hold the mortgages on your balance sheet, I think the word is, isn't it deflation, where you can calculate deflation, and that's how you ultimately can not pay taxes. So I guess I just wonder what your thoughts about that are.
Oh, okay. He wants to I think I'm trying to think of the term now, because I just had it and it left me. When you depreciate, right?
That's it.
Okay, he wants to depreciate.
Yeah,
okay, now here's the thing. When it comes to, we need a great tax strategy when we're in business. And you would agree to that, right?
Yeah.
So nobody likes paying more taxes than they need to pay. Nobody does. But here's what I found out over the years, that we're going to pay a lot more interest than we'll ever pay in taxes. Do you know why I know that? Because of people who are smart with their money, especially when now you pay taxes. Do you know what when you're making your money, you know how you pay taxes? You pay taxes on what? Profits? Is that right, Janelle?
Yes.
Do you know that people at this level, you know why they pay so little taxes? It's because they have so little profits. That doesn't mean that they're not making money.
Right. And so the depreciation is the formula to make it appear that you have so few profits. Is that what we're saying?
Right. But that's not the only thing that you can do to show that you can. There are many legal ways that you can use that money that would normally be profits, use it in your business that you can benefit from. All right, that can be written off on your taxes. Many ways. There's more than one way. Now, let me ask you. So this is what I point out to real estate investors. Definitely, every month you have that loan. Every month you have that loan. You are going to get, so you're going to, I'm sorry, every year you have that loan, you will be able to take advantage of the tax deductions that those properties afford you. Okay. But you have to pay a lot of interest to do that so that you can get your tax deductions. So what you also want to do is when you do what's called opportunity cost calculations. Now, if I can calculate by my depreciation how much I can save on my taxes, I also have to calculate how much I have to pay in interest to keep the loans. Does that make sense, Janelle?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say this gentleman who says I'm not going to. I want to be able to depreciate the properties, and I want to take advantage of my the tax breaks I get for paying mortgage interest. And there's listen, it changes all the way around, and it changes from taxes, paying taxes on um, I'm so I'm sorry. It changes if you have residential property or if you have commercial properties on that mortgage interest. How that's calculated. That's another thing. I am not a tax professional. All right, and I'm putting that disclaimer out there. You definitely want to talk to your tax professional about the things that I'm pointing out. But here's the thing I do want you to point out. You can calculate, your tax professional can help you to calculate how much you're going to be able to save on your taxes per year. All right. But 5 years into this one loan that this particular client has, okay, just 5 years in, he's going to pay $620,000 in interest. And that has to be brought into play. The $620,000 in interest he would have to pay so that he could take advantage of his depreciation and any tax savings mortgage interest can afford him. Do you see where we're going with this, Miss Janelle?
Yes. So can I ask you? So another thing comes to mind.
Yes, ma'am.
So you talk about a 5-year mark and how much has been paid. I'm very new to this. I'm just learning. But what I think I've heard is that on average, the average mortgage is only approximately 5 to 7 or 6 or 7 years. That most people, they're probably refinancing and stuff to try to get away from
Yes.
that interest.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So here's the thing. And I'm glad you brought that up. Are you watching this on screen, Miss Janelle?
Yes. Yep. I'm watching that.
Okay. All right. So here's what we're talking about. So most real estate investors that I know aren't interested in paying off their loans, but not for that reason that we just talked about. They're not interested in paying off the loans because they're going to cash out, refi to get more cash out and then reinvest that money.
That's exactly what he said he does.
So here's what he's doing. If he's not taking advantage of interest cancellation, what if he wants to take out $132,000? Okay. Now, we're going to discount market conditions because the market conditions have been great and they're definitely adding to our property values. I'm just talking about the equity that is created by paying down the loans. Okay. You good with that? You follow me?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So the equity in created now, of course, we're going to get more equity because of the market conditions. But watch this. If he's not paying attention, if he's just making the minimum payments because he's making plenty of money because of cash flowing very well, in 5 years, he's going to pay this loan down by $132,500. Okay. What if he wanted to cash out, refi, okay, to take out $100,000 out of these properties and then reinvest it, right? Now, what if he did that, but he didn't pay attention to the $620,000 in interest he had to pay to get to the $132,000? Real estate investors are not paying attention to interest cost. They're only looking at interest rate. And they're treating amortized interest like compound interest, and it is totally not the same. So here's what I'm getting at. Okay. If I can make 20, 30, 40% interest by investing my money, okay, they're thinking, why would I ever choose to pay back a 5% loan when I can make 10, 20, 30%? That's what they're thinking. You follow me?
Yeah.
But I am not paying 5% on this loan. I'm not paying 5% on this loan. If I pay it down by 132,000 and I pay 620,000, I think that's about 500% interest. That's how you have to look at this thing. Do you see what we're talking about here? So if we take a look at the interest rate on this, and this one is 10%, okay? This is a 10% loan. Let's go over to this 5% loan. Let's say he had it at 5% instead. No, I'm sorry, 6%. We take a look at a 6% loan for the $1.3 million. The bank wants and this is a 20-year amortization. The bank wants $935,264 interest on that loan. Here's my question. Is $935,000 6% of $1.3 million? The answer is no. It's 71.943% overall. So if you're trying to make 10, 20, 30, but you're paying 71%, almost 72% overall, you're already behind. Are we not?
It's like a check cashing place.
There you go. It's actually worse. Listen, the government is trying to regulate payday loans. But they can charge 72%. Mortgage companies can charge 72% all day long with impunity. I'm glad you brought that up. So listen, all the things that this real estate investor was talking about is true. You want to be able to take advantage of depreciation. You want to be able to take advantage of any tax breaks that the mortgage will get you. You want to be able to take advantage of all of these things, but don't forget the interest cost you're paying to get those things. So here's what we're talking about. Take advantage of both. You can use our calculator to say, I have the right amount of money going towards the debt to save money on interest, but I'm also getting the most out of my depreciation and the tax breaks that this property affords me. And I'm using my money that would normally go to taxes. You know, I've got some people who use business credit for everything, and they listen, they play this game very well. And we got upset when we heard that President Trump paid less than $1,000 in taxes. That's because on his books, he made no money. Okay, he made no money. He took advantage of the tax laws as they are written. Okay, so if you can go on vacation, because see, here's what we're doing in Nashville. Guess what? In Nashville, we're going to be there for 3 days. Somebody's going to buy a ticket to that. Somebody's going to buy a plane ticket to get there. They're going to pay for the hotel rooms. But we're going to be there for 3 days. We have speakers on Friday. We got speakers on the Sunday, but we're at a resort. So on Saturday is a day off. so that they can enjoy the resort. Now, let me ask you, if a entrepreneur comes to our session, are they going to write off that whole trip?
Absolutely.
Do you see what we're talking about? This is why corporations have meetings and says, all right, we're going to have our meeting in Hawaii. we're going to have our meeting in Jamaica or the Bahamas. All right. This is why they do it, because they can either spend their money that way or they can give it to the government in taxes. What would you rather do, Miss Janelle?
You know, I don't want to give the government nothing. So there you have it.
There you have it.
Okay, can I ask you another question? Then I'll
As many as you want.
So depreciate.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Depreciation on the mortgage, or is depreciation so after the mortgage is paid, can you still use depreciation on the asset?
Now you're getting into I'm above my pay grade.
Okay. I'll ask you.
I am above my pay grade. So you want to ask your tax professional, but it only depreciation can only go so far. I mean, when you want to depreciate the thing, when you depreciate it, now I do know I have a copier printer. I've got a printer. Okay, it was an expensive printer. I know I can depreciate it down to zero. I can't depreciate it past zero. That much I can tell you.
Right.
Okay. I can depreciate it down to zero, but once I try to depreciate even more, they're going to say, Don, last year, didn't you depreciate that thing down to zero? What are you trying to do here? So again, I am not a tax professional. This is not tax advice, and this is being recorded.
Yes, no, I hear. Thank you. Okay, I'll do some research. Thank you.
You are so welcome listen, you have brought some valuable information to us today, and we're so thankful that you did it. So listen, thank you so much. Do you have anything else for us today?
No, that was all. Thank you.
You are so welcome. Listen, and when you're ready to get those properties that you're talking about, please contact the P.I.L.L method before you get your mortgage. Setting up the mortgage is half the battle. We help people buy luxury cars, and if they consult with us before they buy the luxury car, we can save them money. Can I give you a quick example of a real estate investor who got their luxury car for free? Okay. This is and it happens to be a young lady here in Huntsville, Alabama, who owns 6 houses, and with our program, she's going to be able to pay off all of those houses in about 6 years. Okay. All right. Yes, all those houses in about 6 years on our program. It's amazing how this works. Interest cancellation. Once you find out is the interest that you pay that keeps you in debt forever. There's some stuff you can do. So anyway, we consult with our clients all the time. It says when you're trying to make a big purchase or anything, contact us first. We have a better way of looking at things. So we had a coaching meeting. We coach our clients. So we had a coaching meeting coming up, and she canceled the coaching meeting. I said, well, what's going on? She says, because I'm going down to pick up my new car today. I said, new car? You didn't tell me about a new car. She says, well, yeah, I didn't think I needed to. I said, well, why? She says, because they're giving me, she was going down to the Infinity dealer here, Smith Infinity. And she never keeps her cars very long. So they were giving her $38,000 for her car, all right, as a trade-in. And she was going to write a check for 32. So it was 70 grand out the door. She was done. No payments whatsoever. And I said, because it was already 9 a.m. I said, what time are you picking up the car? She says, at 11. I said, I tell you what, I'm going to move some things around. Bring your computer, because our system it is a cloud-based computing system that does all the math for us. I can't do all that math. Okay, it's just way too much. So she brought it down, and I said, before you get there, will you please call them and ask them if they will write you a check? Will they purchase the car from you instead of putting it as a down payment? Now, the thing is, it's hard for them to tell her that the car is worth $38,000 and then not write her a check for it. They can't have it both ways. You see what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we get there. We get to the car dealership. She pulls up her program. It's our opportunity cost calculator. And I said, now tell the program. Now they did decide to go ahead and write her the check. I said, now tell the program you have 38,000 additional dollars. The program recalculated everything instantly in about 3 or 4 seconds, said you need to put a certain amount of money on this particular loan. It chose which loan and how much money to put on that loan as a prepayment. You know how, so then it recalculated her interest savings. Her interest savings went up by $70,000. You know what she said? I get my car for free. Mm-hmm. Using the money this way instead of another way. I said, now what we're going to do is take your $32,000 and put it back into the investment you got it out of. Okay, go ahead and put it back. We don't need it. She says, well, why? I said, because we're going to finance your car for 84 months. You could have knocked her over with a feather. Finance 84 months? Are you crazy? I've never financed a car, let alone for 84 months. I said, listen. Let's put it into the calculator. You're going to pay off everything in 6 years anyhow. Let's put what the interest rate would be. Let's put in that car for 84 months. And the program did the recalculation. She's not going to be out of debt in 6 years now because she put a car in for 84 months. She's now going to be out of debt in 6.5 years. Wow. On everything. Come on now. That's what this thing can do for you. This is why I get so excited about getting a brand new mindset when it comes to finances, when it comes to loans. Everything we've learned, it has to be thrown out the window. But you know, the hard part of all of this is people see this, but they've been doing it the old way for so long. Something called cognitive dissonance sets in. And so that cognitive dissonance says, you've believed this to be true for so long. Now here's some credible evidence that something else is better. You're better off with it. But then there is that fight that goes on between the old information and the new.
That's right.
And do you know what some people do to end that conflict? They go back to doing what they've always done. They can't fight through. They can't develop the mindset quick enough to actually save them $100 or $200 or even $1 million in interest that they don't have to pay, because this is the devil I know. Even though your information sounds good, Don, even though you've been in business for 16 years, even though you have an A+ rating with Better Business Bureau with absolutely no complaints, even though you have a best-selling book on Amazon, and it's the only book out of 33 million titles on Amazon that talks about this subject, yeah, I'm still a little nervous. I'm going to continue to do what I've always done. So, folks, this is why we're focusing on mindset today. Can we put the conference back up? So listen, I'm glad that you brought this up, Janelle, because we need to talk about that mindset and where this is going. So folks, don't get trapped in the old mindset, because so no matter whatever your product or service is, whatever you're doing, whether you have a product, whether you have a service, whether you have a profession, whatever it is that you're doing, I can almost guarantee you there are mindsets that you have that are keeping you from advancing to becoming everything that you can be. And this is why we're having this particular conference. And let me tell you what's not going to happen. Let me tell you what's not going to happen at this conference. If you've been to some of these conferences before, you come in, you pay your money, and you get some information, and they give you just enough so that you now have to buy their $5 or $10 or $15,000 course to make it all work. We're not doing that. I will never be associated with a conference that blocks the door with cash registers, and to get out, you have to go past the cash register to pay $5,000 or $10,000 or $15,000 to implement part of the information they gave you, but they keep the good parts back, so you have to pay for it to actually make it work. We're not doing that. We're going to have speakers there. They have a course. They have courses. They have books, but their tables are going to be outside the meeting hall, and you can go to their tables if you want to. We are not blocking the doors and setting this thing up. All the value, you're going to get all the sauce, all of the value. You're going to get everything you need to make it work in the meeting itself. None of this getting you all hyped up and now you got to pay $15,000 to make it all work. None of that. All right. Please, Miss Janelle, thank you so much for bringing up your questions, and I'm gonna get off my soapbox.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Jared, back to you, sir.
All right. Thank you so much, Janelle, for the question. Really, really appreciate it. And we have about 25 minutes left to get questions in. So if you have a refinance, a 15-year versus a 30-year versus a 40, should I make a big down payment? How do I deal with these record high interest rates? Is it not a good time to buy a house? Or with the P.I.L.L method, does it actually help? Hint, hint, it might actually help. Ask how. Car loans, student loan debts, or credit cards. We'd love for you to come on stage, ask your questions. And also, thank you to the 11 people that have shared the room. Please continue to share the room. We have 36 people in here. We'd love to see 9 to 10 people. Click that number 11, click share on Clubhouse, and share out to the audience. We'd really appreciate it in the hallway. All right, so any questions, please raise your hand. And also, if you're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, feel free to write in your question into the chat. Or if you can't come on stage, write your question into the chat. So with that being said, while we wait for questions to come up, Don, you have a best-selling book that we haven't mentioned yet.
Okay.
We'd love to tell people a little bit about it and why it's so valuable.
All right. The book is called The P.I.L.L Method, A Better Way to Eliminate Debt. All right. And the reason why we came up with that subtitle, Jared, A Better Way to Eliminate Debt, every person I've ever talked to who's called our office and wanted information on what we do has said the exact same thing for the last 16 years. Every single one of them. I was looking for a better way. And the reason why we set our advertising up in that we only want to attract people who are looking for a better way is because they're open to what we're talking about. We are not trying to change people's minds who are not looking for a better way. They're satisfied with what they're doing. And we say, we applaud you for doing what you're doing. Yes, you're paying more interest than you need to, 75% on average. But if you're satisfied with that, okay, more power to you. What we'll also want to point out is the reason why we have that title, A Better Way to Eliminate Debt, is because people are coming. They're realizing now my parents have a mortgage. My grandparents still have a mortgage. I don't want to have a mortgage for 30 years or more. I want to be able to get out of that debt and then take my money and invest it in my family. That's why we have this book out here. And it also explains what another gentleman brought up is that he had 4 mortgages, but to actually sit down and do all the calculations it takes to save the maximum amount of interest is more than the human brain can actually perform. It takes millions of calculations. So the book brings out that you need an opportunity cost calculator to do all of this. Now, folks, now that this book is so valuable to you, get the book today. And not only get the book, but get a 10K card that goes along with it. And I'm wondering if 10K is in the house and he's flashing his mic. Tell us why that is so valuable, 10K.
Why are you giving them 2 steps down? Don, they don't have to go through all of that.
They don't?
Stop lying to the people. Here's what I want to tell Don. Don is trying to tell you to get the book, and then Don is trying to tell you to get the 10K card. What Don is not telling you guys is that he already got the 10K card for you. So all you have to do is to get a copy of his book. When you're finished getting a copy of his book, fill out the savings and earnings report. Because all the billions of dollars that was spent behind Waze, if Waze does not have your current location, they can't tell you what's the fastest way to get to Miami. And the weather is beautiful in Miami, by the way. Anyway, stay focused. So what you want to do, guys, get a copy of his book, fill out the savings and earnings report. And then when you're finished filling out the savings and earnings report, claim your 10K card that was already paid for by Mr. Don Daniel and his company. All right? Because the same way Don is using the 10K card to seamlessly helping members to interact with his business, you can be doing the very same thing for you and your business as well. So with that said, Captain Don, back to you.
All right. Miss Kenyatta, are you in the house?
I am here.
How are they going to get that 10K card once they buy a seamless transition that Mr. 10K was talking about? How are they going to get their 10K card?
It's very simple. What you want to do is screenshot that receipt, go to ice10klive.com, go to I'm ready, upload that receipt, build out your own digital card with your social media handles, your email address, perhaps your website, your phone number, and you'll receive your very own 10K card in an hour or less, value at $100.
Miss Kenyatta, since we have you here, you're going to be one of our speakers next month, aren't you?
I am indeed, and I can't wait to be there. And it's just a great opportunity to be around like-minded individuals. Yes, I will.
And what are you going to be speaking about?
Making your business bank ready. I fell victim early on in my profession as a beauty professional, making the mistake of buying everything with my own money, funding my salons, my inventory, you name it, my boutiques, everything with my own money. And had I not been ever introduced to the concept of business credit and how much funding is actually, at our disposal, I would have been better off. And so now it's my journey, my charge to make sure that businesses, whether they know they are business or not, get the funding necessary and get ready for it.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. And we have a couple of questions online. Kurt, what's going on online?
Yeah, we just got in 2 questions from one from Chico and one from All Things O. Let's go with Chico's question first. Let's see if we can't shift some things around here on screen real quick to accommodate that. There we go. All right, let's we'll get Chico's question up first. I owe $172,000 on my 27-year mortgage. He's got 2%. I have $90K in savings. Should I dump that amount into my mortgage? Oh my, Chico, you don't know what you just did for Don with this question. So I'm telling you, this is it. But for the rest of you guys on Clubhouse, you miss your shot. Chico's going to take up the rest of the time right here. All things. Oh, we're going to try and get to you as well with your car loan. I think Don's got some thoughts on that. But Don, Chico's giving you all of the information here.
Yes,
He's got
man.
90K. You want me to bring your screen up?
Oh yeah. You can bring my screen up, man. You can bring my screen up. So we're gonna put that on. We're gonna put that on the screen right now. He says he's got 27 years left. So I got to do a little math here for everybody. So he's got 27 years times 12. That is 324 months left on this loan. Okay, 324 months. We're going to put that in, and we're going to put in his 2% interest rate. Boom. We're going to put that in. Okay. And he still owes $172,000. $172,000. Now
And
this is going to.
that 2% didn't take. I don't know why.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. So now what we have here is I'm going to figure out about what his principal and interest payment is on this, which is about $687.47. Now, it doesn't have to be exact, okay? But we're just talking about the principal and interest payment. Now, what we're talking about is if he has $90,000, all right, what we want to do is figure out how much he wants to put on so that he can eliminate the maximum amount of interest per dollar. So I'm going to scroll down here to line, so we can say payment 12 and payment 24. Okay, payment 12 and payment 24. And I want to show you something about the law of diminished return. Remember that. That's the law of diminished return. When you do something, you want to make sure you're getting the biggest bang for your buck. So I'm going to put this on the screen, put my calculator on the screen, and let's just say if I prepay, now this loan, if I take a look at line 12, I'm going to pay the, okay, what's up?
Sorry. I know you're on a roll. I don't want to interrupt you.
Yes.
But man, it's like the floodgates have opened online, so more questions are coming in. Chico just clarified it's actually not 2%, it's 2.99, which I think will make a slight difference. But I just wanted to give you that update. And then while you're updating that, can I just respond to Eugene real quick? Because Eugene is saying, is this more for personal? Is the P.I.L.L method more for personal, or can I use it for church? And I just want to say, Eugene, this will work for church. This will work for church. And I don't know if you can see the banner on the bottom of the screen that says ICE 10K Live. Churches are very reluctant, but they would stand to benefit the most from this method. So we would highly recommend you and your leadership at your church go ahead and fill out a savings and earnings report and get in with Don and his team so they can actually give you some specific numbers related to your church. I don't know if we're going to be able to go over those in today's show, but I just wanted to respond to Eugene real quick. And again, all things we're going to try and get to you. And so Chico, we've got that percentage rate updated. Don, back to you.
So let me talk about that church for just a second.
Sure.
All right.
I knew you'd want to talk to.
Listen, man, churches on using this methodology, churches can pay off their mortgage in an average of 5 to 7 years without, okay, I've got to talk about, I got to repeat that, without extra giving from the members. Come on now. How is that? Do you know that I gave an example of how we can use monies that are set aside in a reserve fund? Okay. So if your church has a reserve fund and just from the giving units, okay, that's what we call them in church, giving units, just from the giving units in your church with the natural giving units, you can kind of estimate how much money is going into your reserve fund after all the responsibilities that have been taken care of, after all the bills have been paid. So out of the monthly tithe and offering that comes in, we have to pay bills. So once those bills are paid, it says, okay, this is how much is going into our reserve fund. Did you know that you can borrow from the reserve fund to put thousands of dollars on the mortgage and knock it down from the reserve fund? And then if you know how much is going into the reserve fund, then you know how long it's going to take to pay yourself back. Our program comes up with the right numbers so that you only borrow the right amount from the reserve fund based on your particular giving units in your church. So you only borrow so much, so it takes you a very short time to pay yourself back, and then you do it again out of the reserve fund, out of your natural giving program. So you don't have to do pledge cards. You don't have to wear the saints out and say, now that we've got the church paid off, now we can say, now we need you to start giving extra so that we can do service projects in the community. And by that time, the saints are worn out. Preacher, am I telling the truth this morning? Okay. So this is
Absolutely.
okay. So here's what we're talking about, folks. If we can do it out of our natural giving, then any extra monies we have can go into service projects in our community because our natural giving is going to pay down the church in 5 to 7 years. I love that one. I absolutely love that one. So
Yeah.
let's go back. Let's go back to this.
Yeah, let's get back to Chico, but Eugene says I agree, and the last comment was oh wow. So I'm assuming that Chico, sorry, Eugene is going to contact you. He said, "Amen, Pastor Don. Thank you for the knowledge." Amen, Pastor Don. That's a new one. We might need another T-shirt. Amen, Pastor Don. Okay. All right, let's
Yeah.
let's see if we can finish up Chico. I know I apologize. I need to stop interrupting you.
Oh boy, have mercy. Okay, listen, folks. I just got a promotion. Thank you very much, Eugene. I appreciate that. So, folks, we got 172,000 at 2.99. The payment is about $774.30. That's just the principal and interest. So let's take a look at this. Where we have $4,000 going to principal and $5,000 going to interest in 1 year. Okay, so let's just say, and I'm just for the sake of time, if we prepay the $4,206.12, if we prepay that instead of paying it over 12 monthly installments, you see, it only comes from the principal payments. Okay, but in 12 months, all the principal payments add up to $4,206.12, but all the interest payments add up to $5,085. So you don't have to pay this in 12 monthly installments. You can pay the 4,206 in one installment if you have it. And if you did, you're paid down to line 12 in 1 month. So let's take a look at what would happen if we figure this thing out. So if the interest that we could save is $5,085.48, all right, and we pay 4,206.12, if we divide the $5,085 by the 4,206.12, we can then know how much interest we're saving per dollar. And that is what we're talking about, folks. How can we optimize our money? So if we take this money and we'll say, okay, let me divide that by the 4,206.12. It comes to $1.20, almost $1.21. So for every dollar you put on the debt at this point, you're going to save $1.20 or $1.21 in interest. And that is valuable, my friends. That is valuable. So what if I had plenty of money in the bank and I could pay whatever I wanted? In fact, I got 90 grand, but I'm just going to pick two of these. So we're going to pick this one or line 24. Let's go ahead down to line 24, okay? And we're going to put new numbers in, okay? So we could prepay 85.39 and knock off 24 payments and save that interest. So we're going to put in 10,000, $43.46. And we're going to divide that by 8,539.74. Look what happens. Oh, we're down to $1.17. Folks, if you could save $1.20 for every dollar, why would you want to save $1.17 for every dollar? There's a point at which more is too much. Now, I'm going to take this a little bit further, and I'm going to share with you something that I shared with an engineer client that lives here in Huntsville. Now, he's got on our program, and he's very satisfied with his results, but he's making more money now than he was making 5 years ago. So right now, with the more money he's making, he's now being able to pay off the $260,000 that he owes. He now can pay it off in 3.5 years. And he was very happy about that when he plugged those numbers into the program, his extra income, and the program recalculated everything and says, you're now going to pay off everything in 3.5 years, and you're only going to pay $16,000 in interest to accomplish that goal. He was so happy with that information. But when he told me about it, he was surprised to hear me say, you're paying off the house too fast and you're not paying enough interest. I said it that way to get his attention. He says, well, what do you mean? I thought that was the idea. I said, let me tell you something. So I'm going to put my calculator on the screen here. Okay. Okay, there it is. Nope. Here's my calculator. So I put my calculator on the screen. So he has a calculator just like this. We plugged in the numbers, okay? And one of the things that we can click on here is how much interest you have remaining, okay? So when he clicked on the interest remaining, it showed him that he had $16,000 in interest remaining. I said, let's take out $2,000 out of your budget. So we take $2,000 out of the budget. And then the program recalculated and says, now you're going to be out of debt in 6.5 years instead of 3.5. And you're going to pay $20,000 in interest instead of $16,000. He says, Don, why is that better? I'm paying off more interest. I'm paying more interest and I'm saving. I'm paying more interest and it's taking me longer to get out of debt. Why would I want to do that? I said, now to get out of debt in 3.5 years and pay $16,000, what would you have to do? He said, I have to put that $2,000 back in the budget. So that is for 3.5 years. So let's see here, 3 years, that's 36 months plus a half year, that's 42 months. Okay. So that's 42 times $2,000. So that's $84,000 you have to put towards debt reduction. $84,000 towards debt reduction so that you can get out of debt in 3.5 years and only save an additional $4,000 in interest. You go from 20,000 back down to 16. Is that how you want to spend your 84 grand just to save $4,000 in interest? He said, no. That's what we have to look at. We have to know how much interest is involved because we are constantly forgetting about and we're taught to ignore interest cost in all of our calculations. Now, I asked him, what do you want to do? And he lives right here in Huntsville. I said, why do you want to pay off the house in 3.5 years? He says, because I want to build our new house. Now, this is before the house prices really started shooting up. I said, why are you waiting? The houses are just going to get more expensive. He says, well, I don't have the, I need for the house we need, I need $70,000 and I don't have $70,000 down payment. I said, you're paying down this house so well, go out and get a HELOC on your current home, which he did. And now start building your dream house now. $700,000. Okay. Oh boy, this is not the end of this story. You all want to listen, chime in on this. This is going to be a clip. Zero in on what I'm getting ready to say right now. So he went out and started building his new house. All right. And the house is almost completed. A $700,000 house in a $700,000 neighborhood at the time. I just heard was it yesterday? No. Friday. It was either Thursday or Friday. Okay, I'm excited about this. And I didn't know this until Thursday or Friday. I got word that the house next door to his just sold for $1.1 million. Come on. Amen to that. Are you hearing me? Don't wait to buy real estate and wait. $1.1 million. He's so happy. He's so ecstatic that he got this advice. And now he's going to be able to pay off both houses because when he moves out of his current house into his new one, he's going to put a renter in that house move into his new house, and is going to pay both of them off in 10 years. We've already done the calculations. Oh my goodness. And now his $700,000 house is worth about $1 million and he hasn't even moved into it yet. Wow. That's what we're talking about. So the answer to the question is probably not all $90,000 at one time. You want to know how much money you want to put into debt reduction and put the rest of that money into wealth creation. Debt reduction, wealth creation, and we'll help you to determine how much money of your 90,000 goes to each so you don't lose out. It's called opportunity cost lost. And you don't want to be in those shoes. We want to help you to get the biggest bang out of your buck. All right. What else we got?
Oh man, oh man, oh man, you're on a roll. I think we can make it. I think we can make it. Jarrett, can we take the other one? Figure I'll just ask real quick.
Yeah, go ahead and ask it.
All right. So All Things O says, I have a car loan for 72 months.
Yeah.
I was thinking of paying on it for 2 years to rebuild my credit and then pay it off. What are your thoughts?
Well, paying on your car on time is definitely going to build your credit. And here's another thing that I taught my niece while she was in school at Oakwood University. Okay, while she was at Oakwood, I taught her this: get a credit card, all right, and put things on it like gas and food. All right, the money that you would normally spend in a month. All right, and then pay that off at the end of the month because the money is already in your bank account. That and paying off the car is going to increase your credit score and work with, okay? And what you're going to find out, especially if you talk to somebody like Credit Goddess, you are going to find out that credit score ain't all that. It's credit profile that matters, because what you want is when you apply, you want computers to make the decision for you. You don't want human eyes on your application. Get your credit profile together. And I'm telling you, that's going to do more for you than a high credit score, because even though you can get an 850, anything over 720, I mean, the credit experts are going to tell you, don't even worry about it. You want credit, you want to make sure that your credit profile is in shape. So you want to definitely tap in with Credit Goddess on that. Hit her up on the back channel and say, how do I get my credit profile together? All right. But the short answer to your question is that would definitely improve your credit, but you may want to be careful about paying off a car in a lump sum because your interest cost is very low if you have other debt. You don't want to pay off the car and save a tiny amount of interest when that same amount of money could have saved you way more interest on another loan. Let's do the calculations for you. Go to ice10k.com and let's do a savings and earnings report. Click on that button and let's put all of your debt in there. Let's see which way is going to be the better way for you to take care of that car. But listen, get with Credit Goddess, improve that credit profile. All right, folks. Do we have one last question on stage?
We have no more questions on stage. If anybody wants to come up last minute, feel free to raise your hand. But otherwise, I think we are done for the day.
All right. Listen, folks. Listen, we're going to go to some quick moderator outros. I want to thank you for bringing your questions to the stage. I want to thank you in advance for ticket purchases so that you can be at our conference in May. Listen, make arrangements now. We only have a limited number of rooms in our block at $278 instead of the $500 a night they want to charge you at a 5-star resort. Your tickets at any level also include your food. Take a look at the ticket levels and see what we're including. And I also want you to know, folks, and I'm going to reiterate this, this is not one of those conferences that's going to try to entice you with just part of the information and withhold the good information until you pay $5, $10, or $15,000. We're not going to block the door with cash registers and make you feel bad if you don't buy our program. This is not what this is about. All the sauce, all the good information is going to be while you're in the seats, and we're going to take care of you. So not only you're going to have education, but this is going to be a vacation as well. Jared, let's do those 30-second outros.
All right. There was a quick question from Charmaine that I think would be valuable for everybody real quick.
Yes.
It'll only take a minute to answer. She asked, do we have to set an appointment with Don every time we have a new loan come up? How does the program work when it comes to access to the software?
Oh my gosh. Once we have a client, that is so good. We have a client, all right? And what we're looking at is we have a customer service program in place, open 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. You can always call toll free, and it's a lifetime service. And on top of that, we have coaches available to you that you can call and make an appointment to talk to. When you first become a client, we're going to include 8 coaching sessions for free in the price of the program. So to get you on board and teach you how to do use the program to do all the what if scenarios you need to do that. And I'm telling you, folks, once you have now most people are able to get where they need to be and use only 2 or 3 of their free coaching sessions, and they put the rest of the coaching sessions in the bank. All right. Now, once they've exhausted all of their coaching sessions, they can use them any way they want. A coaching session at this point, extra coaching session, is only $150 an hour. Oh my goodness. Now, why is that important? Because if you're already a client and you're using the program, your $150 an hour is satisfaction guaranteed. If you don't receive enough value that's going to save you more money than the $150, you get your $150 back. Ha! So just like the young lady that I saved her thousands of dollars, and she got her car for free. Do you think she paid her $150 for her coaching? I'll you better believe that she did, and she was glad to pay it. So folks, that's how the coaching program goes. But most of what we do, you're going to get from our customer service program, which is entirely free for life. I hope that answers your question.
No, that was a great answer. So Charmaine, you definitely want to check out ice10klive.com. I put the instructions in the chat, and fill out the financial report. Don's team will get with you, and then they'll break down exactly how much interest cost they'll save you over the lifetime of all of your debt that you have currently outstanding. All right, great. So I want to remind everybody to please make sure that you click on Don's profile. Make sure to give him a follow. The value was great here, and we do this room Monday, Wednesday, actually Monday and Friday and Sunday. Monday and Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern time, and then Sundays, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. And then this next 4 weeks, Don has an exciting partnership with Business Over Breakfast. And Don, I would love for you to tell people where you'll be on Wednesdays and they
for the next 4 weeks, we're going to be in the club Business Over Breakfast, which is a super duper club. They want me to come in and talk to their club about interest cancellation. They talk about all sorts of things that people can level up to make money and to produce generational wealth. And they said there's one piece that we don't have: interest cancellation. So for the next 4 weeks, all right, we're going to be in Business Over Breakfast. And they said, now, because you're doing this for us, we're going to promote the conference for the next 4 weeks as well in Business Over Breakfast. I'm so excited to be there. And they run from 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. So be there. We're going to be in the place. You'll still be able to see some of the examples, folks. Thank you so much for that, for reminding me of that, Jared.
All right. So yeah, make sure to follow the club, follow Don, Kenyatta, 10K Cards, Credit Goddess, and Edna. So we're gonna go from bottom to the top, do some quick moderator outros, and then Don will have his final words. So Edna, thank you so much for popping into the Pill Method Club. Love to see you around more. Please let everybody know who you are, and if they want to get in touch with you for anything, how they can do so. All right, Edna must be away from her phone, but Edna's an OG on Clubhouse, almost 19,000 followers. Check her out. She is an entrepreneur, an investor, and an energy mastermind. So check her out. Credit Goddess, you're up next. Credit Goddess, are you around for an outro?
I am. Can you guys hear me clearly?
Yep, we got you.
Getting a red bar of death. Okay. All right. Hey, everyone. Happy Sunday. My name is Rose Laura Lewis, also known as Credit Goddess and the official credit expert for the P.I.L.L Method crew. I'm a credit score improvement strategist. I help my clients improve their credit so that way they can gain access to other people's money. I have a huge network of bankers and lenders that I work with where we do I do a reverse technology of where we meet their requirements so that way you can gain access to either working capital, fix and flip money, equipment financing, whatever it is. Since we are in the entrepreneurial spirit, I'm here to help any entrepreneur and small businesses establish that so that way we can gain access to capital and then apply Don's P.I.L.L method. So that way we can save on interest costs. This is the way to build asset and build generational wealth. So key to good credit, you got to have it. I'm a credit consultant. So if any of you guys are interested in my services, you guys can tap in to the number in my bio, 888-557-5778, and text your name and email address. There will be a link that will be sent to you to book your consultation. I prefer that we book a consultation to see which program is right for you. So definitely tap in with me. There's free consultation, there's paid one. Whichever one that's best fits your budget, definitely tap in with me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today, and we'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern. Thank you guys.
Awesome, 10K. All right, 10K is hosting a 10K and 21-day challenge, but definitely make sure to click on his bio. He's a hardworking dude on Clubhouse, a marketing genius, and he'll also be in Nashville. So make sure you give him a follow and tap in with him. And also, he is the founder of 10K Cards. The ice10klive.com and myjared10k.com, etc., are all 10K cards. So if you want one, you can buy Don's book, screenshot the photo of the receipt, go to ice10klive.com, go to step 3 that says I'm ready, and upload the screenshot, fill out your information, and you can have a 10K card as well. Compliments of Don. All right, up next is Kenyatta.
As always, we appreciate your presence and pray that we've earned the privilege of your time. And again, I'm Kenyatta. You can find me at kenyatta10k.com, and I am the official lender of this house, the P.I.L.L Method House, which means that I can assist you with your commercial real estate deals as well as business purpose loans, you guys. So reach out to me and do not disqualify yourself. We absolutely can get you whatever it is that you need to be able to access this money. Happy Sunday.
All right. And my man Don is only 5 followers away from 8,500. So there's 30 people in this room. If you're one of 5 people that have not followed Don yet, or you haven't followed him on Clubhouse, show him some social digital currency. Click on his profile, give him a follow. Not just for the fact of giving him a follow, but every time Don is on the stage in the Black Think Tank or Real Estate Talk, or some of the most prestigious real estate rooms on Clubhouse, you'll get alerted and you'll get to hear not only about interest cancellation, but things like wholesaling, multi-unit properties, et cetera, Airbnb, the short-term rental strategies. So you want to open up quality rooms on Clubhouse, make sure to click on Don's profile, give him a follow, show him some love, and also share the replays of this room with your friends and family that are not on Clubhouse. If you click on his profile and look at his replays, You're going to see a library of amazing content, amazing questions. So go ahead and check those out and share with your Facebook groups, your LinkedIn groups, your Discords, etc. I'll be super quick. My name is Jared. I do a lot of content on Clubhouse. I'm really focused on creating generational wealth. If that's the topic you're interested in, check out my replays. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And you can also see me May 20th talking about the metaverse. So look forward to seeing everybody in the building. And I also have a lot of thoughts on mindset that I don't really share on Clubhouse, but I will get very vulnerable and share the mindset that's helped me have the success, go to 80 plus countries, and to live the life that I've wanted to live. All right, Don, you can close us out with the last words.
All right. Thank you very much, Jared. Thank you for all the moderators on the stage. Thank you for Kirk online running everything. Listen, you guys make this show what it is, but we couldn't do what we do without the people who are coming into the rooms, watching us online and listening to us in the listening lounge. So we thank you so very much for your participation in all of this and helping to get the word out. Because you show up, somebody else learns. So we appreciate you. We're going to be back here tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time. And I also want you to know that we're looking forward to seeing your face in the place in Nashville. But folks, don't wait. Get your room now at the special rate so that you can be in the place and learn about not only how to be successful in business, whatever you're doing, but the mindset that's going to get you there. And we're going to have Dr. Eric Thomas take us out right into our outro music. Listen, folks, see you again tomorrow. Thank you for being here. Dr. Eric Thomas, take us out, please.
This is an opportunity of a lifetime. Your grandma counting on you to do the right thing. Your mama counting on you. Your cousins, your brothers and sisters are counting on you to cash in on this opportunity. Everybody want to be a beast. Until it's time to do what beasts do. There are kids that don't eat like you eat. They're at the same university. They don't get what you get. But with this right here, your skill set, this thing can take you wherever you want to go and then take your kids wherever you want them to go. You know how many people would die to have the gear y'all got? You know how many people would die to get on these planes and travel the world? You know how many people would die to have your life? And you got it. Let's go. You got money, but do you got that dog? Yeah, you got money, you got privilege, but do you got that dog? Do you got that stamina? So yeah, you might have something I don't have right now, but if I work hard, I can have what you have. I want you to chant it out. This is it. Be phenomenal or be forgotten. 1, 2, 3. Be phenomenal, be forgotten. 1, 2, 3. Be phenomenal, be forgotten. Last time. 1, 2, 3. Be phenomenal, be forgotten.